Excited to give you some product demos of what we've been working hard at here at Turing lately. So I'm going to get started on a few things that we've been working on the matching and workspace side. So let me share my screen and we can get this started. Okay, so for today, we will be kind of focusing and honing in on Turing calendar. All right, awesome. So let's dig right into this. So Turing calendar, why did we create it? I think just a little context why we created it and some updates that have happened since the last time we shared a little bit on this. The main thing we wanted out of this Turing calendar was a way to automate these interviews at scale. As we're getting larger as a company, we're getting more and more scheduled interviews. And third-party tools that we've been using, unfortunately, isn't always cutting what we need in terms of flexibility and customization. So bye-bye Calendly, and we now have our own in-house calendaring system, which reduces our reliance on these other third-party tools and also allows us to schedule these interviews a lot more quickly. Because we're able to automate a lot of the processes, automate the emails, automate a lot of the steps that we couldn't do before. And also we can track this data better, which helps us to understand our funnel better. So a little bit on this, some of the key metrics that we'll be tracking on this, just to give you guys a heads up. We're definitely gonna be tracking all these interviews happening, tracking the percent of increase as we release calendaring to more and more of our AEs and sales. Hopefully we'll be decreasing that time, increasing velocity for these interviews to happen. And ultimately we want to speed it up. So we will reduce the overall wait time for people to be able to schedule out their interviews. And of course, we'll be tracking some of the numbers of overall customers who are scheduling, developers who are scheduling, and kind of just compare that as well. And hopefully we'll continue to maintain our speed and trial success rate as we go through with the calendaring systems. We'll be carefully monitoring that as well. So as I go through that, let me actually now give you a demo of what the calendaring looks like. So let me exit out of here and give you a demo how it works. So all of you guys are familiar from the matching system when you guys are creating packets and sending it out. So the calendaring just flows naturally into what you're already doing. So when you create a packet and you're ready to go, I've already kind of prepared this packet. I've already put my info in there, so I'm not contacting anyone else. So this is in a kind of a UAT environment to allow us to just send the emails to myself and not send it to anyone else, but I'll go through the entire flow with you guys. So here we have a packet ready. So we'll create this packet. We will be able to go ahead and do the stuff you guys usually do, which is fill out the details for these packets. Fill any rates you guys need to do in here in the packet. I'll just put in some hypothetical rates here just for this test. And then you guys will select Turing calendar. You guys will select also the customer's time zone. I'm just gonna take a Pacific time zone here, and then you'll save the packet and get ready to send it. Once the packet is saved here, you can go ahead and send this packet. Right now I'm logged into my account, which is not available to send because we've actually made this that this is only able to be sent by sales. So that way we're not accidentally sending out emails to anyone, but you can go ahead and save that packet and then send that test packet out. So if you need to test it, you can go ahead and send that test packet. And if you need to save that packet, you can save it here. You can go ahead and this is what a preview of what the packet will look like. So here in the preview, you can see this is what the customer would see here. They would confirm the engineers they want to select to hire. I'm going to confirm the engineers here. And then they would get the ability to mark these interviews. They basically immediately to mark the people they're interested to interview and mark their availability. So they would go here, put in again their time zone that they want to book this for, select their interview duration. We'll just say 60 minutes here. They can add people from their team to interview. So if let's say this is the CTO coming in, they want to hand this over to their VP of engineering or someone else to do the interviews as well, they can go ahead and add that person in here. Then they will go ahead and just select their availability. So they can go ahead and click or drag and drop where they want to their availability. I'm going to set some times next week as well. Just want to make sure that they're fully covered here. All right, and then once they've set that, they will confirm their availability. They get this thank you screen, letting them know that we will be reaching out shortly to their developers to confirm the interview steps. And so now this email goes out to the developers immediately. So right now the developers are contacted without any wait time. We have the customer's availability. Now email is sent out to the developers. So developers will get an email here, basically letting them know, hey, this is the one going out to the company, letting them know the engineers were ready. And here we have the developers who got the email saying, hey, please confirm your availability. So you can see already how quick this all is, right? No need for someone to step in, send another email. This is all automated. So now the developer comes in here, they select the time that's available for them, and then it confirms the availability. Now, because this is in a demo environment, we did not have the places selected here because it's still on a demo for this, it's on the UAT and not on the production. So, but on the production, I tested it. They would see the availability in slots and they'll be able to confirm it. And once this is confirmed, so Jose would confirm with EduFront that they're ready to move forward with the interview. They would just pull open their calendar and now you would see the events populated here. So as you see, I did a test right here for, that was another one I just did the other day. So that one showed up in production. So basically now that event is created in the calendar and you can sync these events one way from the Turing calendar to your Google Calendar. So you can see those events populated there. And you can also see details on this event here. So if you go into the events here, you can go all the way to the latest one, which was created here. And you'll be able to see details for this test job. So that was my test job I created. So you'll be able to go in, edit the event details as needed, and you can go ahead and also assign if there needs to be ever a change of ownership. So for example, this is your client, but for whatever reason, you have another important meeting at that interview scheduled time, you can go ahead and change the owner to someone else. That way you can cover in case it ever gets booked or double booked or triple booked on a time. We have that covered for you guys. So that in a nutshell is a wrap of the Turing calendar. I'm hopefully you guys are excited for this new product. I think it'll definitely speed up the way we do calendaring and scheduling interviews and takes care of that three-way interview. I'm gonna move on quickly now to the workspace. So one thing in our workspace we've worked on is our automated career growth, which for you guys, if you've never heard that before, basically we're creating a way that allows the developer to track their career growth at Turing, which we've never had before. Super excited to release this. Basically, it gives them a track, a roadmap on how they can go from an IC3 to an IC4, how they can grow their career at Turing. So in our career growth, basically, I set some example ones so you can kind of see what that looks like. Basically, every time you come in as a developer, they will be able to see the scores given to them by their manager. So in this case, a manager gave them, they exceeded expectations in a couple of these key areas. You'll notice this is familiar because we have this in our deep developer profile. This is the kind of the key ways we measure a developer's kind of growth, which is an impact, engineering excellence, communication, people skills, direction. So we basically have this as an automated career survey to the manager. And they can fill out if they have exceeded or if they met those expectations or if they are below expectations. So there is this whole like calculation we have put in basically out of 120 points here that once they reach those 120 points, they're basically will be automatically promoted to the next level. And the quickest way you can get that is you keep on exceeding expectations every 2 weeks. The shortest time would be about 6 months before you can get promoted to the next level. And if they're curious about learning more about how this works, they can see. And then they can go ahead and we're going to have a section here where they can learn more about how these points work, how to get those points and how to continue to exceed expectations. So that's a little nutshell of the career growth. We're really excited. This will probably phase out some of the one-on-one and performance reviews, and we'll kind of focus on this career growth in the future. All right, I'm going to stop share here and turn it over to Char.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I mean, both of the products look amazing. I'm so excited that how this is going to help Turing become more sticky and also automating a lot of the mundane work in the scheduling. So I think this is a really, really awesome. And
excited to see your automated coding updates.
okay, so I'm gonna share a few things, starting with the, by the way, for intro, I'm a PM Turing and working mostly on the supply. And in this call, I wanna show you, first of all, automated coding challenge results. And second of all, the new product availability for work that we shipped out. They should help with the matching, pre-sales, and the algorithm that powers a lot of that. So let me just show you what that looks like. So candidates, they come in and they're able to take the coding challenge, but they can also take the practice. So they can take the practice test, and they can also take an automated coding challenge. They can take it whenever they want. And we have automated compilers. We have different languages for the candidates to choose from. And the purpose of the coding challenge is to assess their algorithm, so problem solving and coding ability. Now, one problem that we had with candidates' pain point was that, hey, I have to wait for so many days to take the coding challenge. So previously, we had a live coding interview where they had to book an interview with an interviewer. But at the time, the issue was that, hey, there's no interview slot for me. Or, hey, I'm trying to reschedule this, but rescheduling is a nightmare because there's no new time available. So therefore, we decided to create this automated coding challenge that does away with the interview. And let's see what happened over the past month. So first of all, so we had actually better than expected results. One is that we had a 118% increase in generated supply. And this is a kind of a week-to-week increase in the people. So this is a total number of people taking the test week to week. And what you see here is that, so as we started releasing in more like a phased approach, we didn't release at 100%, but 10%, 20%, etc. You can see this number going up quite drastically. A lot of that is due to the TI happened. So TI happened, you see that it used to be around 24% taking in a week. Now it's around 46%. So that's almost double. And also people got a lot more clarity due to the practice tests that are offered. Previously, people would spend 5-10 minutes in the beginning just to figure out, okay, how do I do this interview and stuff? But with the practice test, that's a lot of it is gone. Also, it's more intuitive. Another thing that happened was faster vetting. Something we found is that so we used to track, okay, so if you look at it here, it used to take about 2 weeks for people to really get there, but now it takes only about 2 days for us to generate the same result in terms of people taking the coding challenge. So it's a quite drastic increase in the vetting speed end to end, and also reduced developer complaints by quite a lot because of rescheduling, bugs, they were all gone. So, and also because of the operations efficiency, also saved quite a bit of money. So that is what happened over the past month. Another thing I want to show you as next is availability. So this is the available for work. 2 issues that we're solving here is that, number one, today, pre-sales spends about 25% of the time checking availability of the candidates that we want to potentially match for different jobs. And that's a lot of time. And so question was, how do we, hey, can you have the update availability up to date as much as possible so that the team doesn't have to reach out to candidates, wait for the response, and some people may not respond. So reduce that time drastically. And second of all, we also want to feed this into the matching algo so that more recently updated people, they would be showing up higher in the search ranking algo. So let me show you how this works. There are 2 components to it. One is that as a candidate, I get an email, and there's also WhatsApp. that asks about, hey, what is your availability? And this email is a clickable, as you can see here. It's clickable, and we ask about, hey, are you actively looking for a job? Are you ready to interview for the next 30 days? And or are you more like just looking? You're open to hearing about offers, but not really looking. This was one of the pain points that pre-sales had. And another thing is that, hey, are you interested in full-time work? And how soon, what's your notice period? How soon can you start working with Turing? So they can choose this and simply click on submit. Now this is a non-AMP version. And their availability is updated automatically. And that gets reflected. Yeah, as you see, it just got changed. So that gets reflected here. They can also update it right over here as well. Now, since the launch, so we're still collecting results of how successful or how much improvement we need to make. So a lot of things we do are very data driven. And so something we're monitoring is how many people have updated. And as you can see, since the launch about 2 weeks ago, about 50,000 unique users have updated. And also, if you can see, we have developers updating almost like, what is it? 2 or 3 developers updating every minute. So let's see how this goes.